Hi there, I'm Dr. Stephanie Falk, and last week I talked about two unhealthy patterns of thinking that I think can greatly cause and maintain and exacerbate anxiety for us. And so if we're able to kind of identify what they are and to rein them in, then I think that we would do ourselves a lot of good by way of anxiety and living a happier, more fulfilling life kind of day in and day out. So what I talked about last week were what ifs and reining in those what ifs. And just very quickly to recap, what ifs are negative outcomes that we ascribe to an event that hasn't even occurred. And so we walk around as if that what if is actually true. And a lot of times it means that we deal with frustration and sadness and all kinds of negative emotion that we didn't actually have to go through because the event didn't actually happen in that worst case scenario sort of way. So I hope that was helpful to watch and to kind of notice, are you living beneath any kind of what ifs? Today I want to focus on reining in maladaptive meaning making. And I know that that's totally cumbersome and super clinical. And so another way of saying that is making up things that are negative that we don't need to make up. So the world can be really difficult and tell us really negative things about ourselves, negative things about our future. And what happens is a lot of times we make stuff up that adds to it. So what ifs are really around a future-oriented event and predicting a negative outcome. And so it's important to rein those in. And then meaning making that I'm going to talk about today is really about our capacity to look at an event and to appraise it in such a way that we lean into benevolent, helpful meaning making and not unhelpful meaning making that I think a lot of us tend to do. And I kind of rack my brain sometimes trying to figure out how come we lean into negative interpretations of events rather than positive. And I don't know, maybe there's survival value to it. It certainly is more protective, but it can be immobilizing and incredibly difficult because we deal with a bunch of negative emotion that maybe we didn't need to deal with at all if we hadn't had leaned into a negative way of interpreting and understanding an event in our life. So let me give us a real life example. Say my husband's coming home late from work and I can in that moment notice, okay, he's coming home late from work. And then I ascribe meaning to it. What does that mean? Does it mean that he had to work a little bit extra late and induces some compassion for me towards him? Do I think, oh, well, I'm sure he just talked to everyone after work and talking to them was more important than being with me? As you can see, that's a pretty negative way to understand and interpret that event. And I'm not going to be really sitting pretty as he walks in the door if that's the way that I understood his being late. Another way of interpreting it is he's stuck in traffic and can't get home but would love to be home and love to be with me. Another way of understanding it could be that he's caught in a traffic accident and then I go through all of the emotion around that. If we don't know the truth, if we don't have a crystal ball or can understand ultimate reality, then I don't know why we don't more naturally lean into a more benevolent spin on things. But we tend to make crap up, and we make crap up that actually hurts us. So I hope that this video encourages you to consider your meaning making related to events that have happened and to at least entertain a couple of different positive ways of understanding it. Not just the worst case scenario, not just a very negative understanding of yourself or of other people related to the event. I think that we can do a world of good by understanding that so much of our lived experience really comes down to the way that we interpret and understand our experience, not the actual experience itself. So hopefully we can notice what we're doing if we are making crap up, learn to rein that in, and to at least come up with two alternative, more positive ways of understanding the situation. I hope it's been helpful to tune in. I hope it's got you thinking about your ability to construct new and more helpful meaning. And I hope this finds you having an absolutely beautiful day. Thank you.